Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited for today's video because I'm going to be giving you a mid-year update on all of the makeup products that I've emptied out so far in the year of 2025. If you don't know, 2025 I took a bit of a step back from project panning. I am just doing two products that, well, I'm doing 3 projects total. One is my no pan left behind, then I have my rolling project 10 pan, and then I have my deck of panning project pan. The rolling project 10 pan is really the project that I'm most focused on finishing products up, but I was curious how empties would go this year, just taking a bit of a step back from project panning. If you don't know what project panning is, it means basically like having focused products that you're working on emptying out or hitting goals on. Last year when I did my mid-year makeup empties, I believe I had 34 empties, and I'm very excited because today I have 41. So this tells me that I am still using up my makeup collection, even if I haven't been actively focused on these products in projects. There are, specifically in terms of lips, I do feel like I have like focused lip products every single month. I am trying to finish off as many lip products as possible. I have a lot of lingering old lip products in my collection, and I love to buy lip products. So the last couple of months I've told myself I need to finish up a certain amount of lip products before I can purchase another one. Last thing I want to say before we get into it is many of these products that are empties have been in my collection for several years. I'm looking at some of these that I am recognizing from like 2021, possibly even 2020. There are some newer ones that are empties as well, but I don't want you to think that I have like finished all these products from start to finish in a span of even like 6 months to a year. So that's what I want to preface this by saying. If you're interested in my thoughts and review on the 41 products that I've finished up so far this year, stay tuned. First, if you have yet to subscribe to my channel and you like project panning, if you like talking about eyeshadow palettes, or if you like to just hang out and chit chat about makeup, that is what we do over on this channel, and I hope you'll consider subscribing before moving on. Also, don't forget to like this video and leave a comment down below, or do anything else the YouTube algorithm loves for you to do. I would really appreciate it. And without further ado, let's jump into the video. I do want to start out by saying we have like era 2020 Steph self-tan hands going on. It's fine. You can make fun of me in the comments below. I was testing out a new self-tanner and I didn't wear a mitt. So also my hair is bothering me as usual. I'm going to do my best not to, should we put a headband on so I don't like keep doing this? Yes. Jumping right into it, I kind of have things laid out in like by categories. Hair is still bothering me. Okay, we're gonna start with setting sprays. I have 3. So up first, I have the Evian facial spray. I ended up picking this up at a TJ Maxx last year. I have been curious about the Evian water spray for such a long time, but ultimately, and let me preface this by saying I love to mist my face. Like, I love a setting spray. I feel like I definitely overuse setting spray. I like to spray it mid makeup application, at the end of makeup application, throughout the day. Like, I really enjoy a face mist. This literally felt like, and I'm pretty sure is, just like canned water. I'm like looking for, yeah, the ingredients are just water and nitrogen. So feels like slightly wasteful. Like I could literally just get like a squirt bottle and spray tap water onto my face. Maybe that wouldn't be as like bougie and luxurious, but it took me for freaking ever to get through this. I mean, it is a very large can, but no, would not repurchase. Even I bought this for $6 at TJ Maxx, would not even buy it for $6. The other 2 makeup mists that I have finished up though, I would repurchase, and in fact this one I already have. This is the Pixi Glow Mist. This I actually did purchase at the beginning of this year, and I have found this year more than any other year in the past, I am absolutely craving a glow from the skin. I feel like as I'm getting older, my skin is like, I'm just looking more corpsey. Like I'm literally looking like I'm inching closer to the grave, which I mean, every day that I'm alive I am, and I'm grateful to be alive, but like if my skin could just do me a favor and not look like it wants to just be dead. So any way I can add a little extra glow to my skin, I am doing so. And so I've used the Pixi Glow Mist pretty much every single day. I purchased this either at the very end of 2024 or the very beginning of 2025, and I went through a whole bottle. Went through a whole bottle, have repurchased, and going through another one at the moment. And then the last setting spray I have is the Benefit the Professional. I feel like I got this at the end possibly of 2023. This is definitely by far my favorite setting spray for locking my makeup in and making my makeup last longer. I did buy this on sale during the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, and I do have quite a few, what feels like quite a few setting sprays in my collection right now. Bare Minerals sent one over earlier this year that I'm trying to get through. I love this to be, fingers crossed, on sale during the next Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, and I will buy it again. Otherwise, I'm just waiting to get through either the MAC Ultra Longwear or the Bare Minerals one before I repurchase this. I'm trying to be a little bit smart, not have a million setting sprays, but this is, like I said, my favorite for locking my makeup in, and I absolutely will be purchasing that again at some point. Okay, I am kind of surprised by how many primers I have used up so far this year. I have 5 primers that I've used up. I'm gonna start out with this one because I ended up using this up as a lotion rather than a primer. It's the Merit Great Skin Priming Moisturizer. They did send this one to me, and I will say this is definitely not something I personally will be going out to repurchase, nor would I really recommend this. If you are looking for a primer that offers hydration, there are so many other better options on the market, in my opinion. Bobbi Brown Face Base comes to mind. I know that that one is significantly more expensive. I don't know cost per ounce or cost per gram if it is. I know that one's more expensive. However, I just really did not like this. This felt like a very thick moisturizer that kind of just like sat on top of your face and never really sunk into the skin. Like, yes, it did, but it felt very heavy on the skin. And for being such a heavy product, it also just didn't feel like it added a ton of hydration. Didn't love this as a primer, ended up using it as a lotion. Didn't really even love it as a lotion either. So I'm happy to have found a way to finish this up, but definitely not going out to repurchase that. Then I have the One Size Secure the Glow Tacky Hydrating Primer. I purchased this during the Sephora VIB sale last year in the spring sale, and I have been consistently using this. I did like this. I personally, in my primers, my number one thing that I want from a primer is for it to be tacky and gripping, and I did feel like this had a pretty good tack to it, and it did also feel hydrating, hence tacky hydrating primer. The only thing about this is it's $36, and I just feel like the e.l.f. primers give me the tack and the grip that I'm looking for, and it's so much less expensive. Yes, the way that this felt on the skin, it was like this gel-like moisturizer that then had a tack to it. Felt really nice on the skin, and I will say I do miss this a little bit since I'm done with it. However, I just can't justify spending this when the e.l.f. one is pretty much just as good. I'm not getting quite the same amount of hydration, but I can also use a moisturizer and then go over top with an e.l.f. primer. So I won't be repurchasing this. If the price tag doesn't bother you, I do highly recommend this primer. I actually really enjoyed it, and like I said, I do miss having it in my collection, but I don't see myself buying that again, at least not in this moment. Maybe if I get through some of my other primers and I feel like splurging, maybe, because I do really miss that one. But like I said, I can't justify it at this moment. Okay, a primer that I really liked when I first started using it, but through consistent use and through project panning, I came to realize that this just isn't a favorite of mine. It's the Iconic London Underglow Blurring Primer. I do feel like this had a really beautiful, soft lit blur sort of finish to it, but it's just not what I'm looking for in a primer. It didn't have enough of a tack to it. I didn't feel like it made a difference in making my makeup last longer. And the majority of times that I would use this, at least before I started actively project panning this, is if I was just going in with concealer and brows, I would use this because I did like the finish that it gave to the skin. However, underneath foundation, that all but goes away. And again, this just didn't have the grip that I was looking for in a primer, so this is not something I would repurchase. Another one I really liked when I first started using it, but through project panning, I realized that I feel like this product was breaking me out a bit. It's the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Glow Serum. Really beautiful, glowy, hydrating primer. Didn't offer the grip or the tack that I'm currently looking for either. I had said I would consider purchasing this again though, because I did like it on days that I was looking for a little bit of added hydration. However, because I do believe this could have possibly been making me break out, and I can get my hydration from my moisturizer, this just isn't a necessity for me, so I personally will not purchase that again. And then the saddest empty of them all is my e.l.f. Jelly Pop Dew Primer. This is my favorite primer. especially in terms of a grip. I love the Tarte Timeless for a pore filling primer, but for a gripping primer, e.l.f. Jelly Pop, all-time favorite. Did an amazing job at gripping, making your like makeup last longer, but was also very glowy on the skin, and I'm just gonna miss this so much. e.l.f. really should just make this permanent to their line. I did recently purchase the e.l.f. Niacinamide gripping primer because I need another gripping primer in my life. I do have the Milk Hydro Grip Glow that I'm going through, which I think is beautiful. I also feel like that one might be making me break out though. Regardless, if I could buy this again, I absolutely would. It's a favorite, and I'm very sad that it's gone. I even cut this open. Like, rare is the day that I cut packaging open. Like, very rare is the day, but I love this so much I wanted to get every last drop. I have two foundation empties. The first is the Laura Mercier Real Flawless Foundation. I literally went out and purchased this or repurchased this the day that I finished this. Like, literally used it up, wore my last drops of my previous this foundation, wore the last drops of it to Ulta to purchase it again. And in fact, I do have this on my face today. I really enjoy this foundation. I feel like it gives really good coverage. It's long lasting and it feels just so lightweight on the skin. It does not feel like you're wearing foundation. It's such a beautiful product. Obviously, I already have repurchased this, so would recommend and have repurchased. And then I have the Tarte Shape Tape Cloud Coverage. I liked this when I first started trying it. However, the more that I used this, the more that I was like, I don't really know. And then the last couple times that I used this, I was like, wait, maybe I do really like this. Ultimately, I decided not to go repurchase it. I love to test and try new foundations. I think I was just looking the other day and I purchased like 8, 9, 10 foundations this year alone because it's one of my favorite makeup products to test out. So because I didn't feel like this was an absolute holy grail, I didn't go repurchase it so that I could make room to be testing and trying other foundations. I would recommend this if you're interested in it. It does have this like light, airy cloudiness to it, but there were some days that I felt like it just looked like foundation, but then other days I felt like it didn't look like foundation on my skin, and I did feel like it had a good wear time. This is something that I wore to work quite frequently. Again, I'm not leaping out to go repurchase this, and in fact, when I pulled out all these products to look at my empties or to film this video, I was like, oh my gosh, I felt like I finished that years ago. I haven't really thought about it and haven't missed it. So those are kind of my final thoughts on that. I have two powder empties. So I have a little mini of the Bare Minerals Bare Pro 16-hour Perfecting Powder Foundation. I use this honestly as a powder on top of foundation. So usually I like to pair this with a lighter weight skin tint. I thought this was beautiful. I have repurchased this, and actually Bare Minerals has sent me another one of these. So I do have two on backup. I think it's a beautiful product and I would recommend. And then I did also finish up the CoverGirl Clean Fresh powder. This was a favorite powder. I remember I first purchased this, I was using it all the time. I actually accidentally dropped mine and it broke, and I went out that day to repurchase. Since then, I have realized that I just love the Kosas Cloud Set powder so much. It just feels a little bit lighter, a little bit airier, a little bit more cloud-like than this one. However, this is still a phenomenal powder, especially if you're a dry skin girl that still likes a pressed powder but wants like your skin to still look like skin, don't want it to look like a set powder on your face. This is a great product. I'm perfectly fine spending a little bit more on the Kosas because I just like that one just a little bit more. And honestly, it takes me forever to get through my Kosas. So if I was in a pinch, or if the Kosas got discontinued, heaven forbid, I really hope it never does, I would return back to this. It is a great powder. I do recommend it. For me personally, every day that I'm reaching for a pressed powder, like I have to force myself to reach for my Bare Minerals Bare Pro pressed powder. I just love my Kosas so much that is just what I want to reach for every single day. I don't feel the urge to want to try other pressed powders even because I love my Kosas so much. So I'm a little bit impartial there, but I still recommend this. I have one eyeshadow primer empty, and it is the NARS Smudge Proof. I have finished up one of these in the past. I repurchased because I do really like this eyeshadow primer. I have since moved on to the Ulta Longwear Matte Primer, which is $13 at full price, and usually you can get things from the Ulta Beauty collection on sale, or at least buy one get one half off. I really love that one. I actually feel like that one has more of like a grip or a lock-in even than the NARS, and it's so much more affordable. So I don't see myself purchasing this again in the future unless something happens to the Ulta Beauty one and they discontinue it. I think this is a great eyeshadow primer. I just think you can get one that's even a little bit better at less of a cost. So won't be repurchasing. I have one color corrector empty and one concealer empty. My color corrector empty is the e.l.f. color corrector, the camo color corrector in the shade Peach. I did really like this. I just felt like I went through this so quickly. I purchased this, I believe, at the end, either very end of 2024 or in January of 2025, and I whipped through this. Like, there's just not a ton of product in this. I do really enjoy my Bobbi Brown color corrector, which I know is more expensive, but it's already taking me like so much longer to get through that one. So I wouldn't repurchase this unless there was another color that I wanted to try. Then I perhaps would try it with the e.l.f. because it doesn't cost a lot to try it. Like, I have heard people recommend trying a yellow, and I kind of want to try a yellow. I just don't know if it would be the right thing for underneath my eyes. Anyway, that would be the only time I could see myself potentially purchasing the e.l.f. again, or if I was like really in a pinch. I thought it was a good product. It's just, I went through it way too quickly. And then I also have the LYS Triple Fix Full Coverage Brightening Concealer as an empty. This took me several years to get through this. Not really for any reason in particular. Actually, I thought about decluttering this in the past because I didn't think it was the right shade for me. And then I was like, actually, I feel like this is the perfect shade for me because it's not quite as light and bright underneath my eyes as every other concealer. I'm horrible at picking a concealer shade. Anyway, I thought this was a beautiful concealer. I just really love the NYX Born This Way concealer, and it's less expensive. You get more product, I believe, and so I will just be purchasing that one in the future. They're very similar. They're both very serum-like, and in fact, the NYX, I feel like, offers me even a little bit more coverage, so won't repurchase this, but I do think it's a good concealer. I would recommend it if you're interested in it. I just personally won't be repurchasing. Okay, I have only 3 mascara empties, which is kind of shocking to me. I will say in the past, I always cocktail my mascaras. I always have at least 2 mascaras I put on my eyes every day. In the past, I've had like 3 to 4 at a time. I've really scaled it back to like 2. So perhaps that's why. There's also 2 mascaras currently going that I'm stretching a little bit because I enjoy them and I don't want to call them just yet. Usually when a mascara reaches the 3 to 4 month mark, I just call it no matter where we're at, just to keep my eyes safe. But the 3 that I have is an empty, the Ilia Limitless. I just had a little deluxe size of this. Ilia Limitless is by far my favorite mascara formula. I love the wand. I love the formula. This is something that I'm almost through all of my backup mascaras, and I absolutely will purchase this again. I will buy the travel size though. Always will buy a travel size mascara because that is plenty to get me through 3 months, and then I'll just buy again. I also have the e.l.f. Lash Extender, which I have already repurchased several backups. I really enjoy this one. It's a really beautiful tubing mascara, drugstore price. Love this. And then I also finished up the Blink Lash Extension tubing mascara. I think I really liked this. However, I think this is really expensive, and the e.l.f. tubing mascara is like just as good. Just as good. So won't be buying this one again. Okay, so many brow product empties. So many brow product empties, but 3 of them are the Glossier Boy Arch. These take less than a month to get through. I love these. I really like the formula. I really like the shape of these, but less than a month to get through these is honestly unacceptable. Like, I literally cannot justify unless it's so tough because I did just buy the NYX one, which I do really like the NYX one, but I'm like, oh, I do really like the Glossier one. But you just like literally less than a month to go through these, not okay. And then I also have the Glossier Boy Arch, which is like the tinted brow gel. I was using the shade Dark Brown. I have finished this. I personally really like the Undone Beauty Duo. It has like a fibrous end and then a pen on one end. I don't really ever use the pen, but I love the like fiber brow gel on the other end. I believe it's $12 for that. So that is just what I will purchase in the future. Glossier actually did send all of these to me, so that's why I have so many. This I probably won't buy again. I've gone through one of these in the past and I really loved it back in the day when I hadn't tried as many tinted brow gels, but now I love the Undone Beauty one so much. I've purchased it at least 1 if not 2 times in the past. That's just my go-to. I can't recommend these because of how quickly you go through them, but I could see myself potentially possibly buying again in the future. We'll see. And then I also have a empty ABH clear brow gel. I do really like the ABH clear brow gel. However, this one did not feel quite as tacky, quite as firm hold, or quite as sticky as what I'm used to. This is one that I had gotten in a Sephora favorite set. It's a mini. I've gone through a mini in the past though, but the packaging has changed. So I don't know if they've reformulated, but I'm honestly using the NYX brow glue right now. I've used the NYX brow glue in the past and I really like that one. So I don't necessarily see myself purchasing another ABH in the future. I do have a bronzer empty, which I'm so excited about. This is a very recent empty and I've been working on this for so long. This has been in several years of project pans. It's the Nabla Skin Bronzing in the shade Ambra. Very, very, very beautiful bronzer. It's a baked product. It might look like there's still some in there, but I literally it's empty. Beautiful product. Gives a really beautiful sheen to the skin without being too glowy, but it's not like a totally matte bronzer. I do really like this. I'm just kind of over it because I've been trying to use it for so long. I could see myself potentially returning back to this in the future if I was shopping on the Ulta website and I felt like tossing it in the cart, or maybe if Nabla launched something I was really interested in, which they haven't in a while, or if this was on sale during Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, I would definitely buy again. But as of this moment, I've used this so many times in the last several years, I'm just ready to be done with it for a while. So excited to have a powder bronzer empty though. I have 1 highlighter and 1 eyeliner before we get into all things lips. So I'm also very excited. I finally have a highlighter empty. This was a cream highlight from Westman Atelier. I had scraped out the highlight from here. I feel like there's possibly like a little bit more I could scrape out. Anyway, I've scraped out all the product. This was a very pricey product. It did give kind of that like glossy glow to the cheeks, but it was sticky, similar to like kind of Vaseline like pretty, but your hair would definitely get stuck in it. I did use this sometimes underneath like a powder highlight, and I would set with a powder highlight, and then I didn't find it to be sticky. I thought this was a beautiful product, and in fact, last year, 2 years ago, I did buy this in one of the limited edition shades, Parla. I think it was a limited edition shade, either that or limited edition packaging. Once I finish that, I don't think I see myself buying this again. They do have a potted cream highlight that looks so beautiful, but it's $75, and I'm like, I don't know if I can justify $75. I also am very interested in the Gucci highlight, which is $60. All that to say, I feel like I would just not direct you towards this. I don't feel like I like a stick cream highlight, but I've found, especially as I've been working my way through my rose ink highlight, I like a potted cream highlight. I really like a potted cream highlight. So if you want a highlight from Westman Atelier, it's so expensive, but maybe the potted cream. Haven't tried it, or the cream in a pan. But this, I might steer you away from. It is sticky on the cheeks. I'm so excited to have a highlighter empty though, and I do think I'll finish my rose ink one this year as well. So 2 highlighter empties at the end of the year. That is gonna be exciting. Then I have my Hindash liquid liner, favorite liquid liner I've ever used. Currently sold out on the Beautylish website. I check like every week to see if I can get this again. I'm currently using the Lawless ones, which honestly are really good as well, but I love how fine a point this comes to. Like, it's just such a good liquid liner. Will definitely buy again when I can get my hands on it again. All right, and that just brings us to all of the lip product empties that I have. I have several lip treatments. I actually have a lip scrub. I forced myself to finish this because this was just like floating around, and I was like, I will use this, but I never want to buy one of these again. It's the Kopari Coconut Lip Scrubby. I used to love this. I definitely just don't care about a lip scrub anymore. Like, I just can use my toothbrush. Like, I just don't feel the need for a lip scrub, but very happy to have this as an empty. Would not purchase again. I have 1 liquid lipstick empty. This took so long. All of my Dose of Colors liquid lipsticks are embarrassingly old, but they still smell fine. I'm okay with putting them on my lips. Nothing bad happened to me. All of my like shade names have worn off, but I believe this was the shade Lazy Daisy. I believe, and I love this shade. I don't know where to find this anymore, but if I could buy this again, I would. I loved this as a Your Lips but Better sort of shade. This like really kind of got me into wanting to put a more permanent thing on my lips, such as a liquid lipstick or a lip stain, and then top with a gloss. I actually do really miss having this in my collection. I enjoyed every moment of using this again. Joseph Colors has one of the best liquid lipstick formulas on the market. I know that they don't have as many shades available anymore, but such a good formula, so comfortable for a liquid lipstick. I am trying to get through as many lip products as possible, but if I do want some liquid lipsticks at the end of this year, I'm going to throw away all of my old Joseph Colors that are like from 2017, and then I would buy a couple new shades. I have 2 lip liners. Whoever would have thought I would have 2 lip liner empties? Not me. Not me, but I'm having so much fun with lip liner this year, and I'm honestly even wondering if I could finish possibly 1 more lip liner by the end of the year. We'll see. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I did finally finish off my ColourPop Golden Beach, which was so close to being done at the end of last year, and so I finally finished this off, which was really exciting. And then I also have my Vive Cosmetics, what was this called? Velvet Sands, which I've also been trying to pan for several years. I've only recently found myself into a lip liner, but now I like can't not use a lip liner. I recently placed an order with Vive Cosmetics, and I almost bought another one of these, but I was like, girl, let's use a few other lip liners before we get hyper focused on this again. I love the shade Velvet Sands though. It's such a perfect nude, as would be expected from the queen of nude lips, Jamie Genevieve. But I think eventually I will ultimately be buying Velvet Sands again. I am trying to rotate through my lip liner collection though before repurchasing. Vive makes an incredible lip liner formula. Honestly, ColourPop does as well. ColourPop is a little creamier and a little bit and not quite as long lasting. Vive, I feel like, is very, very long lasting. Really, really enjoy this formula. Definitely would buy again and definitely recommend. 3 lip glosses, 2 lip oils, and then 6 lip treatments. Let's talk about my lip glosses. My Iconic London lip gloss is finally an empty after at least 1.5 years, if not 2.5 years of trying to finish this off. This almost got decluttered several times, but I was like, no, I'm gonna do it. I hate the applicator on this. I have taken the step route. It's just too long and too flimsy, but I absolutely love this lip gloss, this shade. This is the shade Love Struck. This formula, absolutely loved. If this shade came in like Lawless Forget the Filler or a Buxom gloss, would 100% buy again. I will say I probably can find something quite similar to this in Buxom. Honestly, even in Lawless as well. There was just something that was just so special about this. Like every time I topped this on top of like this combination, I absolutely loved. I just felt like it made my teeth look whiter. It made my lips look juicier. I definitely do miss this. However, this took so much dedication to use this up. Like, I don't know if there's like makeup gremlins that live in here that just would like refill the gloss every night, but this took so freaking long to finish that I'm not like itching to go out and repurchase. I don't think I will repurchase because again, the packaging on this just drives me bonkers. And I have so many other nude glosses in my collection that I can try and get through, but I really, really did love the shade, and the formula was nice and plumping without being painful. So I miss this, yet I don't miss this. Do you know what I mean? It's like that toxic relationship that like you can't help but like keep wanting to return back to, but like there's a big red flag. And the red flag in this is the applicator. I also finished up a little mini Lawless Forget the Filler. Very happy to have this as an empty. Personally, I don't love the Lawless minis. Again, it's an applicator thing. We don't like a little thing. I like it big, I like it thick. I did mean that. I do like it big and thick. This, not so much. We don't like it little. I just feel like for the formula of this, it is a little bit thicker. And so I feel like with a smaller applicator, it just doesn't distribute the product evenly. Whereas the larger ones, like they kind of hug your lips and it just does a better job of distributing the product. Part of Lawless Forget the Filler's formula, like it is thicker, but I do feel like it just smooths my lips out because it is a thicker formula. I'm going off on a tangent. We know Lawless Forget the Filler is my favorite lip gloss formula. I just would purchase the full size. And then I also finished up this little mini Refi lip gloss. Refi is just like, I don't think the brand for me. I feel like they try and do too much with their packaging. Like they try and be too innovative with their packaging and I just don't care. Like I just want my product to work. I did not like this formula. I felt like it was gritty, thick, and just did not like this at all. The two lip oils that I finished up, I did finish up a Clarins lip oil. I've had this for over a year. I love the Clarins lip oil though. This was in the shade Apricot, which is my favorite of all the shades. I do have a current Clarins lip oil on backup. It is the black checkered one, which I also really like. I've gone through so many tubes of the Clarins lip oil. I love it. Personally, I like to splurge on it. I think it's worth the splurge. I do recommend. Really enjoy that. I also finished up the Too Faced Kissing Lip Jelly in the shade Sour Watermelon. I like the Too Faced Kissing Lip Jelly formula. Bubblegum is my favorite though. It is this really beautiful pink sparkly shade. Sour Watermelon was just kind of like a clear lip oil. This I love because I feel like it is a great hybrid between like a lip oil and a lip gloss. You get like the aspects of a lip oil, but it looks glossy like a gloss. In the future, I think I would only purchase the sparkly shades. The sparkly shades don't have like a grit to them. There's nothing special in my opinion about Sour Watermelon. It was still easy to use because I like the formula, but not a shade that I'm itching to go repurchase. And then we will end with lip treatments. I do have a mini Summer Fridays lip treatment. I will say I have this mini and then I have last year's birthday gift mini. The minis I feel like are a different formula. I have the larger Summer Fridays in Hot Cocoa and I like that one so much better than I've liked either of the two minis. Summer Fridays is a fine formula. If they release a shade I like or a scent I like, I would buy, but it is not my top tier lip treatment formula. We're gonna get into my top tier lip treatment formula, which is the Ole Henriksen. I have two Ole Henriksen Pout Preserve empties. I'm currently working my way through another. I feel like I always have one of these going. I always have one of these in my car at literal all times. It's like always my car gloss. So I have the original and then I have the Creme Brulee. My only complaint about these is that they do have this very chemical taste or scent to them. Right off the bat. That kind of dissipates, not so much with the blood orange, but overall it dissipates, but it definitely is kind of like unpleasant when you first put it on. Such a beautiful glossy formula that feels so nourishing to the lips. This is absolutely something I will continue to repurchase. I have 3 others currently on backup. One of them is the sparkly version. No grit to that one either. Not super sparkly on the lips, but still a beautiful product. Highly recommend. Have repurchased and will continue to repurchase. Okay, this has been going since 2021, possibly 2020. I finally forced myself to finish this up. It's the e.l.f. Ride or Die Lip Balm in the shade Tough Cookie. I honestly have no idea if they even still make this, but this was such a thick lip product I didn't like. I ended up using it as an overnight, like night treatment because it's just too thick in my opinion for during the day. However, I prefer the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask, so this is not something that I will be purchasing again in the future. Speaking of the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask, I have a little mini of this. I'm currently working my way through others. I have bought several. My daughter loves this. I do really like this. I think the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask is my favorite for at night. It is very thick, very nourishing, very moisturizing, but it's not sticky. Like this is sticky, and some really thick nourishing products can just be really sticky. I don't find that the Laneige one is like annoying in that way. And I will say I think my favorite that I've ever tried is the Tarot Tea one that I'm currently going through. I have really been enjoying that one. And then the final empty that I have to share with you right now is the Lawless Forget the Filler Overnight Lip Plumping Mask. I loved this. This took me way longer to get through than I thought. The packaging is so deceiving. You get so much product with this. This took me 9 to 10 months of consistent use to finish this up. And I love this best as a lip prep step. It gives this really nice, juicy, plumping effect to the lips, but it also feels nourishing like a lip mask. It is the most bizarre thing ever because typically with a lip plumping product, it feels like something that like dries out your lips, makes your lips very irritated. This still felt nourishing like a lip mask. Most bizarre thing ever. Lawless did send this to me. They have sent me another one that I just opened and will take me probably a year to get through that. Once I get through that, I would buy this again with my own money. I do recommend. Really, really enjoyed this product. And after that, you guys, those are all 41 makeup empties that I have finished up so far this year. I am feeling so encouraged by my empties. I have had a lot of empties the last 2 months or so, and I honestly feel like now I'm gonna reach a point where like I don't have a lot of empties, except for maybe, I still have quite a few lip products I feel like are on the cusp of being finished. But aside from that, I'm like, a mascara here and there, I don't feel like I'm that close to finishing really anything else. Maybe I'll surprise myself. I honestly don't think I'll get to 100 makeup empties by the end of this year, but I'm okay with that because I have been having so much fun with my makeup collection this year. This is the most fun I feel like I've had with my collection, and the best I've done at cycling through things, realizing that I love things that maybe I didn't realize that or maybe things that I thought I was going to declutter, I've ended up really loving, and things that I thought I've loved, I'm like not as inclined to reach for them. So it's been such a fun year of using my makeup, but I'd love to know in the comments below how many makeup empties you have so far this year. Let a girl know. Other than that, thank you so much for sticking around to watch today's video and for supporting me and my channel as you guys always do. I love you guys so much, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.